Time for sports on the AM show. My name is Haruna Mubarak, and we start with the Joy Sports Invitational, where following the disappointment in the 2024 edition, Piva Beverages are heading into this year's tournament with renewed focus and fierce determination. The corporate games return on Saturday, August 9 at the University of Ghana Stadium. Now, speaking ahead of the event, Chief Executive Officer of Piva Beverages, Frank Mensah, he has issued a bold statement of intent, making it clear that his team means business in 2025.
So, invitation accepted. Last year, Piva was launched, and I think that was the first competition that we joined. It didn't go well as expected, even though you spoke a lot. Probably I was a bit naive in the CEO penalty shootout, but this time around, I've done a lot of training, and I believe that I'll be among the finalists, or I'll take the cup. This time I don't want to stick my neck out because of what happened last year, but I'm assuring that this year I'll do better than what I did last year. Joy last year gave us a big mileage, and I believe that this year, same. Piva, 1 year on, has been in almost every household now. We've covered all the 16 regions of Ghana, from Gambaga to Tamale to Accra to Brekum to Doma-Inkro. Everybody's saying that Piva, the taste you love. And I believe that this year will be a milestone where we are launching other products very soon on the market. And I think Joy will be one of the media houses to carry our success story. So invitation accepted. This year, we'll do better. I think last year, the team, our football team was not part. This year, they've assured us that they'll take the cup. Exactly. Last year in my interview, I said this is a very good opportunity. Apart from the sports, this is a good area for networking. So all the corporate Ghana, those who were not part of it, the MDAs, the private equity funding, the banks, this is the best opportunity for you to come enjoy. And let's network. For you know, you even have a contract there. And people who have no even jobs, you want to change jobs, it's an opportunity to meet the CEOs and talk to them. Who knows? I mean, the sign will shine bright on you. So please, if you're not registered and they open up, this is a very good opportunity for you to come on board. And this year is going to be bigger at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium.
Now, to boxing, retired referee Roger Bano has revealed his intention to contest and ultimately take up the role of president of the Ghana Boxing Authority. Bano is currently the head of the country's professional boxing body in the interim, following the resignation of Abraham Kotei-Nikwe. The date for the Electoral Congress is yet to be announced. However, Bano sees himself as the right man for the job on a permanent basis.
It's very unfortunate we got ourselves in that kind of situation. It's a learning curve. It's a learning curve, and whatever happens within this short period that preceded his resignation, I've learned a lot I learned out of it, and then I know it's going to help me in my subsequent years ahead if I have to occupy the seat permanently, which I hope to.
Is this an ambition you've nurtured all this while? Did it come up at a certain point?
You know, whatever you do in life, like I said earlier on, you aim to get to the top. And I have met people, you know, growing up in the sport, and, you know, I have been with Nikwe Mensah. I have been...
Blessed memory.
Blessed memory. I have been with ex-president Moses Fuamini, Mr. Samuel Kaptan, Mr. Zwenis, and lastly, Mr. Abraham Kotei-Nikwe. And before them all, I met Alute Kofi as well.
Yeah,
so
Adjetey. Yes, yes.
Blessed memory
yes.
Also. You know, and you know, with their leadership styles, I did learn a lot. And putting that all together, I knew one day, I might be the head of the Ghana Boxing Authority, and then it will definitely help me. So, you know, it wasn't that there's a surprise for me, but it's some kind of a calling. You know, it's been there. It's been yearning to come. But I never knew it would be so early. But once it is, I can never let the chance slip by. I grabbed it with both hands, and I'll make sure the chance that I've had this very short moment will definitely linger in people's, you know, memory as one of the, you know, the finest. I can say I'm going to make sure I'll do what I have to do to make sure people really will remember me, even if I'm gone.
To football, Hearts of Oak have been hit with another transfer ban after missing the deadline to pay former player Francis Adjetey about $10,000 as ordered by the Court of Arbitration for Sports. Victor Achutamakul has the rest of the story.
Adjetey was signed in February 2023, midway through the season. He signed a 4-year contract, but I'm not sure any Hearts of Oak fan would ever remember seeing him in Hearts of Oak colours, apart from his the images from his unveiling announcement, right? Because he never really played for Accra Hearts of Oak in the league, or for that matter, in any competitive game. But Hearts find themselves in a situation where they have to come up with 108,000 Ghana cedis in addition to the salaries that they may have paid him while he was in the employ of the club. Now, Adjetey's signing was a curious one because he joined Accra Hearts of Oak at a time when confidence was at an all-time low. In fact, there are many who would argue that he was signed ostensibly to pacify the supporters who were complaining at the time. He wasn't part of a number of transfers that the club conducted in February of 2023 in what you would call a panic buy. Because 6 months before that, Accra Hearts of Oak had terminated the contracts of, refused to extend the contract of the captain and his vice, Mohamed Al-Hassan and Fatah Mohamed, who were big fan favorites at the time. Now, when those players left and the club was no longer competitive, and I think the Sunday before Adjetey's announcement or his arrival, Hearts of Oak had lost to Aduana Stars by 2-0 in Accra, a defeat that more or less ended their title ambitions for the year. And so there was a sense that something ought to give. The club needed to show a certain ambition in the transfer market. And so they went out and they made that acquisition. It is one that, with the benefits of hindsight, should not have happened because footballing-wise, Hearts did not make any gains from that investment. But it is the latest in a series of bad decisions that Accra Hearts of Oak have made. We all know about the Salim Adams transfer, where for whatever reason Hearts of Oak thought it made sense to commit to paying a minimum of $120,000 in that transfer.
Says it has paid part of the over $800,000 debt owed to the Ghana Football Association from their broadcast deal for the Ghana Premier League. Star Times also expressed their interest in renewing the partnership with the FA for the upcoming season following the expiration of their contract. Now, my colleague Adamu Benin Abdul Karim has more in this report.
Following the expiration of the Ghana Football Association's broadcast partnership with Chinese network Star Times, coverage duties were handed over to Afat TV and Globe TV. While the season was underway, reports emerged that negotiations were still ongoing between the GFA and Star Times to renew their deal. However, those talks were officially abandoned in May this year. The GFA explained that both parties failed to reach an agreement, citing Star Times' failure to settle an outstanding balance of over $800,000 from their original $5.25 million deal signed in 2020. In an interview in April this year, GFA President Keto Kriku pointed to the unpaid debt as one of the reasons referees had not been paid.
And I said, but we are working around the clock to fix it. Last year around this time, last year around this time, wow. This year, challenges because of non-payment by Star Times. And that has delayed, or that has affected your cash flow.
Since those comments, Star Times Public Relations Officer Eli Kondo has told Joy Sports that the company has made partial payments towards the debt.
And if you're owing somebody in excess of $5 million and you pay as much and is left with a little over $800,000, it means that a lot of money had gone into the whole project. So yes, just a few weeks ago, some amount of that outstanding has already been paid. So it means that Star Times remains committed to the project of building Ghana football. So yes, it started very well. It didn't end badly as well. And those outstandings will also be cleared. And maybe we'll start engaging in other possible deals in the future ahead of the coming season as well.
Kondo further stated that despite the breakdown in renewal talks, Star Times is still open to returning as a broadcast partner with the GFA in the upcoming season.
Well, it might not be specifically the Ghana Premier League or maybe an aspect of the league, but there are talks around, it could be production, it could be an aspect of the season as well. So the talks are still in progress. And once it's finalized, I'm sure you'll get hold of it and then we can communicate to the viewers exactly the details of the new terms that might come up between Star Times and the Adjetey.
Is the Ghana Premier League something you're interested in? Star Times again?
Of course, yeah, surely.
What would need to change for you to follow?
Well, it's not about what will change, it's about what we can do to change the face of the league. Last season, we saw the footages that came out of the coverage of the Ghana Premier League. It wasn't good enough, and I think Star Times did way better than that. And once we are involved, obviously, even they just ended FA Cup. We saw what was produced with the Star Times crew. That shows that Star Times has attained some level of quality in regards to the Ghana Premier League coverage.
With widespread calls for Star Times to return growing louder throughout the past season, it remains to be seen whether the company and the GFA can find common ground for a new deal.
Now, Black Stars attacker Mohamed Kudus is heading to Tottenham Hotspur after the North London club reached an agreement of about £55 million with West Ham. Kudus is expected to sign a 6-year contract. Sky Sports has more.
It has been confirmed to us that Tottenham Hotspur have agreed a deal with West Ham United for the signing of their forward Mohamed Kudus. Remember, last week they'd made a bid of around £50 million for Kudus. That was rejected out of hand by West Ham United. They said that's too low an offer. Tottenham Hotspur and West Ham United continued talks and they've come to an agreement. We think the fee is in the region of around £55 million. Personal terms not expected to be a problem on a long-term contract, and this one could accelerate really, really quickly now. We expect Kudus now to start his medical tomorrow, ahead of completing that move to Tottenham Hotspur. And I think Tottenham Hotspur wanted to get this deal done very, very quickly, and it looks like they've done exactly that. Mohamed Kudus should become a Tottenham Hotspur player sooner rather than later. These two clubs, they don't do business with each other very, very often. The last time a West Ham United player was transferred from West Ham United to Tottenham Hotspur was way back in 2011. Scott Parker moved from West Ham United to Tottenham Hotspur. 14 years later, Mohamed Kudus is about to make that same move from West Ham to Tottenham Hotspur.